Something that you hear a lot about from Israel's advocates, particularly in Anglophone media, is this idea that to talk about genocide, or to use, in your words, the framing that Israel wants a final solution for Arabs, for Palestinians, that is to throw the most traumatic, historic wrong done to Jewish people back in the face of the world's only Jewish state. So, how has the left in the US navigated between using realistic language for what Israel is doing and also accommodating the feelings and fears and sensitivities amongst the Jewish diaspora in the United States?
Yeah, I mean, for the longest time, we were on the defense trying to explain that it wasn't anti-Semitic to criticize policies of apartheid and occupation and slow genocide in Gaza. And it was very wrapped around the sensitivities of the Jewish diaspora. The Holocaust weaponization is very strong here in the US. Activists for the longest time here have been trying to tiptoe around this language, even though Israeli ministers use it themselves. I mean, you had, before there was even the brutal blockade on Gaza, you had Israeli cabinet ministers calling it a concentration camp. So these are their words, not mine. But, I think finally, Ash, with the incredible frontline communities of Jewish activists putting their bodies on the line, in the thousands, doing civil disobedience, direct actions all across the country and the world, saying, this is not in my name. It's really kind of demolished and undermined that narrative that Israel has relied upon for so long, which is admittedly to weaponize the language of anti-Semitism and use it to prevent criticism of Israel. I mean, look at an institution like the Anti-Defamation League. It's cynically used to, paint to rightful rises, right, in anti-Semitic language and attacks, which is a real thing. And that's mostly caused by the right-wing rise around the world and the rise of fascism, but conflate it with pro-Palestine activism. So you see these statistics that look staggering. Oh my God, in the wake of October 7th, the rise of anti-Semitic hate crimes and attacks have risen thousands of percent. And then you look at these charts and they're literally lumping in pro-Palestine rallies or someone just spray painting Free Palestine on a bus stop. It's disgusting because anti-Semitism is a real thing and it's dire and it is on the rise. But when you're painting that with Palestine activism, it becomes so muddled and convoluted. It hurts the cause more than it helps it. And unfortunately, when you are the only Jewish state and when you're slapping the Star of David on soldiers' uniforms and flags and you're committing barbaric, heinous atrocities and celebrating them in the most depraved manner possible on TikTok and social media, I mean, that is going to fuel it more and more. But it shouldn't be up to us to have to explain away why, no, it's not anti-Semitic to criticize these policies. It should be up to Israel defenders to explain why, or people who are trying to conflate these things. No, it doesn't represent all Judaism, what Israel is doing. That's insane. So I'm sick of being on the defense. It's their fault that they've done this, and it shouldn't be up to us to have to excuse away or explain away anything. But I think Jewish activists, more than anyone, are proving that narrative false.